Welcome back, everybody. We hope that we had a nice time networking and get to know new people from different parts of the world and many different sorts of companies. It's now time for us to welcome a number of the companies that we've been working with in the CIRCit project. Before that, just admin comment on the polls. We are putting them over. Please be patient with us. It's going to be 3 main polls, where in each one of them, you can only select one single option, okay? It will be coming throughout the speeches, and we will update you about the status as you go. Apologies for that, but we promise that you're going to be in your selected workshop by the afternoon, okay? Brilliant. Let's start now in welcoming the companies. Throughout the entire project, we actually engaged over 70 different companies throughout the Nordic region in Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, and Finland. And we are really proud to have had the chance to work with all those companies. It was indeed a big task, right? To co-create.
Lots of activities, lots of coordination, but I think a great amount of activity going on. So it's been really great experience to have those companies on board.
Yeah. Really, indeed. And today we've invited companies from the 5 different countries so that you can also get a glimpse of the flavors on how circular economy is being implemented over here. And we are really excited again. If we had the time, we'd love to have had the 70 companies in here with us today. It'd be a great celebration. But we have 5 and 5 good ones. And I'm sure you're going to agree that their case is extremely interesting. So I'd like to start with a Icelandic company, Össur, which is one of these in Iceland that is producing prostheses. And a great welcome to you, Bergthora. You've been in one of our first workshops in Iceland. I remember the first day we met, and you've been always extremely excited about circular economy implementation. So we'd love to hear how the journey is going on at Össur and how you see the next steps in that transition as well.
Yes. Do you hear me?
I can see that you are there. Let me see if I can hear you.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so do you not hear me? Okay, well, testing.
I can hear you, yes.
You can hear me now?
You're in the wrong link because it's delayed 20 seconds or whatever.
Hello? Hello?
It's working. I can hear you.
Do you hear me now? So I can
Just
start.
go over.
Okay.
Yes. It was my phone, the problem. I'm sorry, guys.
No worries. Okay, so great to be with you here today. And thank you for inviting me to participate. So yeah, my name is Bergthora, and I am the Environmental and Safety Manager at Össur, which is a global company and the 2nd largest player in bracing and support and prosthetic worldwide. We have around 4,000 employees in more than 25 countries, and we design and market a diverse variety of products for users in all age group, both high active users, as you can see, for instance, in the Paralympics, running and jumping. And we have also low active users and all that in between. Very important thing here now is that our products are classified as medical devices, and therefore they are highly regulated, as they should be. It's very understandable, as the safety of the product is always a priority number 1. But at the same time, the strict regulatory requirement can, in some cases, restrict our possibilities to change, but there are always opportunities for improvement. We have had like environmental or certified environmental management system now for since 2012. We are a manufacturing company, and so understandably one of our environmental aspects is waste, which of course speaks directly to circular economy. And we've been, of course, focusing on reducing and increasing the recovery rate for years on that part. But then it's our products, which unfortunately mostly end up as waste today. And there is really big opportunities. We want to reduce this negative environmental impact. And one other thing to understand the context, that our market is global. So thinking about the take-back program or like that, it can be quite a challenge, but we're still looking into it.
It's very easy.
So the experience with participating in CIRCit, so the opportunity to be part of this came actually in a really good time for us. It was early 2019, and we were like taking our first steps towards sustainable product design, which is one of our like 5 main focus areas within the environmental management system. And we decided that we wanted to participate in 3 out of those 6 very interesting work packages. And we were like one of those tier 1 companies, so we were like with you all the way. It's a really interesting thing. And we like our thinking or purpose to participating is like we wanted to get like really a feedback from the consultants on our design, and therefore we started with the work package number 3 on the design part. We also wanted some really good feedback on how to close the product cycle. It's like the other part of, like you were saying before, is the design, and then you get the what comes out of it. And finally, we found very interesting like opportunity to take part in like the circular business model, because it's about business and it's about changing the way we think. And overall, it was a really good experience. Really like a lot of interesting things came out of the design work package. And it was interesting to learn that it's not really like a revolution at each time, and it's really important to be able to say that to our designers. It is like it's the small steps on the way, and keeping this always on the radar. That was a really interesting thing, and having our design process mapped and getting a feedback on like where to tackle, where to put those touch points in. Really interesting. On the closing the product cycle, which was really interesting too. That was also because we were like more advanced there. We were thinking about both like the waste perspective and our product perspective, because we thought like if we can't really like find any good solution on operational waste, which is really like the same material as is in our products, we have to look at it at the same time. And I would say that like the really interesting thing that came out of that, in my view, is also to think about like some local initiatives and collaboration and all that. Like you were saying, like there's a special work package on stakeholders and collaboration, because like each and every company cannot be an expert in everything, and this can actually be a little bit overwhelming for companies. Am I supposed to know everything about this too? Because that's maybe not like the core of the company. But that was really interesting. And then it was the circular business model, which Marina came and had a workshop at our headquarters in Iceland. And that was an eye-opener. It was really interesting. We were able to get people from different departments of the company sitting down and thinking outside the box. And it was really interesting, and we have now very good ideas on what can be done. And it's so important to always link all these initiatives, whether it's sustainability in general or circularity, with business. It's so important. We want maybe to do so and so many things, but if it doesn't add up or make sense in a business perspective, then you don't really get many followers for that idea.
It's important to show the business case.
Yeah, absolutely. So like overall, I would say this participation, it was an important step in our journey towards improved or increased sustainability and circularity in general. it really raised the awareness, and I would say it was like one of the milestones in our journey, because we are at a total different place today as we were like in early 2018. And of course, there are many things that come together and raise this awareness and move us forward. But I believe that the participation in this always, they gave it like this some solid ground. And like I said before, the collaboration, very important. We have now initiated interesting projects that are linked to that, like the eye-opening thing. And one other thing, maybe before I stop, is that like we also found that we needed to fill in some knowledge gaps. So following our participation, we have now had some of our key products go through life cycle analysis to be able to really like pinpoint where are our opportunities, what is the main contributing factors when it comes to the environmental impacts of our products. So long-term vision, yeah, we're looking really forward to continually improve the efficiency really in our production lines and circularity, but always in line with regulatory requirements. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing your experience in circular economy journey. And it's really interesting to see how you've managed to combine the 3 focus areas to develop your strategy forward. And also nice to hear how it's evolving after we stop collaborating that close together.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks as well for your co-creation and the inputs and the feedbacks that it would help us to come to the final version of the tools. I can see there's a question. We have time for a short question, Christine.
We have a question. So it goes like this: how to implement the need to balance performance and environmental issues? For instance, the use of composite materials for high performance, but it's difficult to close loop. Is this relevant for your company context?
Yes, it is. So we have, like I said, we have now like some of our key products, we have now the like life cycle analysis on that. And of course, understandably, like big part of the environmental impact is comes from the raw materials, which are like very upstream in the supply chain. But at the same time, we could see some very interesting points, touch points where we can really improve. So whether we call it the low-hanging fruit or not, we are now really doing great things when it comes to packaging and all the PI material. But when it comes to the composites and the carbon and all that, that's more like a long-term vision, because this is not about stop using carbon. It's more like to influence our suppliers and work with them.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Indeed, it's a challenging work in the medical sector, but I'm sure that you are becoming a leader in the field, and there are many Danish companies also working that transition. Might be some good connections for you there. Thanks a lot, Bergthora, for coming today.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us,
See you around.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and I think there's some more questions coming on the chat. So I think that Bergthora is going to be around this morning to answer some of the questions that you maybe didn't get your answers to. But without further ado, let's go on to the next of our 5 company presentations. And we're really pleased to welcome Satu Karvanen from Konecranes. Now, we talked this morning before the break about products which are, you could say, long life products which need maintenance over a longer period. There was a question that came up there this morning, and who better actually to answer that question than somebody from a company which is making, well, it's a world leader in lifting businesses from all different types of crane and lifting devices. So I'd really like to welcome you, Satu, to the front stage. Satu Karvanen, who is the environment manager and the technologies work. So welcome to you. Can you hear us and can we hear you?
Yep, I hope so. Thank you
Wonderful.
so much.
Satu, many thanks for coming along today and sharing your story with us. You're from a company which is making heavy duty, long life products with many products and services already built in to them. And you've been very active on this CIRCit project as well in a number of work packages. So maybe just a short introduction to your involvement on CIRCit, and maybe also a little bit about what is the most challenging thing when advancing circular economy within your company, and how you've managed to get over that, or how you are managing to get over that in the company.
Sure. First, I'll give a short introduction about kind of the project itself and the experiences, and then I'll get back to that question.
Great.
All right. So a few words. My name is Satu Kaivonen, and I work as an environmental manager at Konecranes. I've been working there for about 4 years, and really wanted to share some experiences about the CIRCit project. A few words about Konecranes, if you don't know the company. So we're a big manufacturer of cranes and hoists, and then of servicing them as well. We have 3 business areas. We have business area service, business area industrial equipment, and port solutions. And just a few figures about the company. So we are active in 50 countries. We have over 18,000 workers, and our revenue is about 3.3 billion euros annually. So that's a bit about Konecranes, and the majority of the business is now coming from selling products, cranes and hoists, and then the rest is coming from servicing them. And maybe this will turn in some years, but this is the situation now. So participating in the CIRCit project, we really wanted to take Konecranes to the next level of circularity. And we were the only Finnish Tier 1 company participating in the project. And we piloted these different tools and concepts. And we had 3 different working packages that we were taking part of. So the first one was the circular economy business models, and then smart circular economy, kind of the IoT part of the project, and then sustainability screening. And just a few words about them. So first of all, from the work package 2, the circular business models, we kind of narrowed it down to start working only with business area service. So we really wanted to focus on how to provide better services and support to our customers, and improve the use of equipment, and of course reduce unnecessary energy consumption and emissions. So kind of the optimizing everything. And really, where is the market potential for this, and what are the customer needs and business opportunities, of course, for circular economy. And the whole idea for this work package was really to gather ideas for potential strategies and new service concepts that, first of all, support circularity and is good future business, and where we could actually really use the digital expertise that we have. We have really very developed digital platforms. So that was one element involved in that project. Then we were also participating in Smart Circular Economy project work package 4, where we really focused on how to improve product-specific circular strategies through improved IoT, big data, and data analysis solutions. We had really excellent support from experts in NT and U. Thank you so much. And a few words about this project was that the scoping down was really hard because there were so many interesting topics to choose from. Right. But we managed to do that anyway. And kind of finally, the third one, the sustainability screening, we had 2 workshops, and we scoped down, and we really needed to define and evaluate the initiative that we had, which was around reducing resources. And we actually scoped down from over 300 different KPIs to 15, and having different approach to the topic. Yeah. And it was so interesting, and like explained in the morning session, that really the list, the idea of the list is really helping you to consider all of the elements of your circular economy initiatives, and really secure that the idea has a sustainability justification. But really an excellent project that was led by Maria. And just a few words about the outcomes. So the discoveries was that we're already operating in 34 different ways in circular strategies. Of course, they're in different implementation levels. Amazing. But that was kind of the main finding. We also were able to gather 31 ideas for circular initiatives for the future needs. And we prioritized 4 of them and turned 1 into a pilot. And now it is a working business model for us.
That's really fantastic to hear, Satu. Thanks for the really nice story there. And I think the engagement of Kona Cranes has been extremely impressive throughout the project, and all the three work packages, focus areas you chose to work on. And we saw as well, you had many different stakeholders involved in a real sleeves up, serious approach to everything from the business models through the digital technology to the circular and sustainability screening part of it. What would you see would be the most difficult parts of introducing a concept like circularity in the company? Because it sounds like you've done a fantastic job in getting 34 different approaches and business model concepts out there. What was the difficulties you experienced on the way, and how did you work with those together with the CIRCit team?
A good question. There were, of course, many challenges on this, and maybe starting off like 2 years ago, that this was just a theme for the corporate responsibility team. Right. And getting to the understanding now that this is actually the core of all of our business areas. We have an external target for circular economy now. So getting from there to here in 2 years, and just really kind of the benefits from this project is really that we were able to build this internal knowledge on circular economy and kind of spread it everywhere, and have a big diverse group of people involved in these three work packages. But really just having a bunch of engineers and experts from different levels, but not really having that strong financial support at that level. So that was really hard, kind of justifying the business value, because that's kind of end of the day what you really need to do, and understanding the cost structure and the financial model before you can actually present that to the top management. And really kind of prioritizing for the 31 ideas, because we all have kind of different priorities. But
so that's a really great news, that the difficulty was choosing from the 31 ideas. We like to hear that. I'm going to ask you a bit about the future in a minute, but I can see there's some questions coming in from takes a couple of questions maybe from there.
Yes, so we have a question here. I'll take it from this chat. Can you please give an example of things that you have implemented?
We actually have implemented circular, well, I'm not sure if strategy is kind of the right word, but kind of the elements, working with Sasha and having those elements implemented in processes that are already ongoing, like in product development. So adding the circular economy element to the processes we already have, and kind of also having trainings for our salespeople and also for the product development people about circular economy, to really kind of elevate the knowledge on this. And now we're really starting to having these different kind of workshops next year to really sit down with different business areas and really take this forward using these excellent tools that you have.
Great.
Yeah, we have another one here. If and how does servicing incentives you to design longer life equipments? So maybe reflect a little bit on how you thought they would be and how it is now, if it changed anything in your development.
So maybe it's just, you can't really see the forests from the trees in a way. So we had a lot of these strategies already ongoing with servicing our cranes, but we actually didn't really see that it had so much sustainability elements involved, and especially because having a long life cycle and extending the life cycle of cranes and hoist is really the core of what we do. And just, focusing on that more, and really just, bringing different sustainability elements into that, and using the digital platforms that we have and the data and the knowledge, and just combining all of these. Well, that's how it really actually was put together. And this has been really our strategy for a long time, and it will be in the future as well.
Great. I think one of the really nice things is to hear from your short presentation, Satu, is the fact that the company has a circular economy goal now as a pronounced goal, and you actually have one developed business which is on its way up through the organization, and you have so many other ideas and concepts there. Maybe just a little bit about reflecting forward the business which is started to develop, you have I guess a plan and a roadmap for those, but how to sort from here onwards with all the other ideas and concepts? Do you make a roadmap for those, or how is the process from here after the intervention you've had with us, but also the journey you've been on as a business to bring circularity into the organization?
Well, this is maybe not the best way to do, but the way that we've actually approached this is also discussing the risks and kind of the climate change as a big risk, which is a big element of circular economy, and of course the material scarcity and everything that is impacting our business and everyone's business. And we actually started with that. We've done a detailed workshopping about this, and now the next step is really to continue with the opportunities, understand the risks, but then continue with the opportunities and really dig deeper in the circular opportunities, and that is really what's core for our businesses as well.
Wonderful.
Just our way, yeah.
Satu, many thanks for coming today, and thanks for the last 3.5 years of extremely close and very productive collaboration. And you're coming from a country which is world leading in circular economy, by the way, if nobody already knew that, which I think everybody did. So it's a real inspiration to work with a company and coming from a country which is really showing us what to do from circularity. So many thanks for coming today, Satu.
Thank you, and thank you for your whole team. It was a really excellent project. Thank you.
Great. See you.
See you.
So, and I think there's going to be many more questions in the chat for Satu. So keep them coming. And I think that Satu is going to be able to answer some of your questions that we didn't manage to take just now. But let's go swiftly on to our next one. We have a real concentrated list of companies for you. So Daniela, tell us about the next company we have on the menu for today.
Yeah, so now we go from the medical to the heavy machinery industry into furniture. And I'm really happy to welcome Lars today to talk about OPE and all the great work that they are doing in developing and putting out there more circular products. OPE is a Norwegian design company that is offering furniture and solutions for working environment. One of the very interesting features about OPE is that they actually have a circular product as the biggest core with the goal of reducing resource depletion. And they are looking to new models and new value chains to actually not only do less bad, but also do more good. Welcome, Lars. Thank you very much for being here today. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
And we are very much looking forward to see how you have worked with the CIRCit tools and how this has helped on your journey and mission for a more sustainable future.
Thank you for that introduction. And yeah, as you can see, our modular system is perfect for space dividers in open landscapes. That's not everything we do though, and I'll give you a short introduction to the company and our work with CIRCit, and then the outcomes of that. So our background for this circularity approach is that as a student, design student in Bergen, more than a decade ago, everybody was at that stage talking about, design for reuse, circular principles as something that we obviously everybody will do that. But then nobody did. And the companies who procure design services, they never asked for that kind of thinking. So all the good intentions of the student ended up just in their own minds. And we chose to say, well, let's us be the ones who does it. So we developed this modular system with circularity in mind. Its key aspects, it's modularity with a few components, technology for reassembly, and timeless expression. So OPE has always been about sustainability, but we and everything else moved too slow. So in the time now that we have a climate and nature emergency, companies still build their strategies around quarterly goals and generating maximum profit for the shareholders, which completely doesn't make sense. So the summer of 2018, during the CIRCit program, we decided to set a new goal for the company. We're going to clean up nature and we're going to inspire others to follow. Now, this transformed our company completely and accelerated everything we do, also with business success as a result. So now we attract a diverse and growing team who share this vision of a cleaner planet. And to say a few words about why we joined CIRCit, this was in I think it was the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, we were in touch. So I said we've been working in the area of circular economy since the beginning, but we didn't have the proper theoretical on the subject, and the complexity had been overwhelming. So we needed the structure to address this this overwhelming complexity. We ended up participating in 4 of the work packages, so that kind of shows how you can't just look at circular economy from one perspective. You have to look at all of them. We had also tried for a long time to do what I call to press our circular design furniture through the square hole of the linear economy without very much success. And we were hoping to find a business model to help us. And of course, we were hoping to build network with other leading edge circular companies in Europe, which is what we're doing right now, I feel. So to the experience, I never believed when we started that it would be such a life-changing experience for the company and for myself too, but I'll give a huge thank to the whole CIRCit team, and in particular Maria, Marina, and Fenna for their immaculate leadership in the facilitation of these workshops and the research program. It has been absolutely a huge learning process and very much rewarding for UPA, and you will see while we move along here. So our experiences in work package 1, we got insight into the huge and complex universe of environmental KPIs for circularity and multiple life cycles. The potential of ownerless marine waste as a replacement material for our regular material was investigated, but unfortunately we didn't manage to complete the assessment during the program. But we are now in a stage where that is very natural to do, and we will definitely come back to the sustainability assessment and use the tools from work package 1 in doing so. Now, work package 2, the circular economy business modeling, was a deep dive into the systemic value creation of circular businesses. And Marina is facilitating us into this thinking about the systemic value creation was really fundamental in reshaping UPA's company goals and getting to that stage where we are now, that we actually plan to clean up nature, not as our first goal. So the workshops were impressively efficient, and with working with a direct access to the insight and into the examples was also of comparable models was extremely helpful. Making the move to turn UPA into a service provider was possible through insight in the process and this elaborate work of calculating the business model in the tool that Marina developed. So to apply the learnings from work package 1 on the value chain process also produced unique results and a new business model that not only decouples value creation from depletion of non-renewable resources, but it also creates economic value through cleaning up nature in what we call a material as a service model. And I do believe we have maybe the world's first company who do material as a service. This is Augury, the regenerative daughter company of UPA and Vestre. And Vestre was, as you probably know, also a partner in the program, and you'll see more of that later. So work package 6, collaborating and networking for circular economy, started off with looking at the B2B value chain for our current furniture, but we discovered how the process that Fenna presented could also be applied on the ownerless marine plastic, so that we were able to build the value chain parallel to our own business efforts. To look at the value chain from this plastic perspective, figuring out which stakeholders were in the value chain and wants to approach in building the model, we discovered the need for what we named a plastic brand through action research. This was affirmative and confirming to our idea about the different plastic supplier and that its place in the market. So later, modeling the concept of Augury as a plastic supplier and media channel was based on what we call the information package concept that was developed during the activity cycle workshops. So further anchoring the understanding of decoupling of value creation from physical material, this is work that is still ongoing in the business model innovation of Augury. So as you know already, we got a lot out of this, and it keeps on coming. So
sounds like it.
some learnings, if I still have the time to give a little bit of what's going on and what we learned.
We'd love to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, CIRCit has allowed Open to systemize our thinking around circular economy and regenerative business. And the learning process has been and is ongoing, and the ability to create and implement new solutions in this lean startup environment that we are representing has, I think that has been instrumental. So the size of the company is also vital to being able to turn around quickly and test these new solutions. And the whole thing has accelerated Open into a position where we are actually reaching our goals of cleaning up nature through our core business, and we are inspiring others. So we are actually, through CIRCit, we're reaching our goals. The program has opened our eyes for the immense space of opportunities that lies in the circular economy and beyond. Our innovation in terms of the plastic capture and storage principle that Ogri follows and material as a service would not have been achieved without our participation there. The action research was the key to creating value for us. Just very short on that. It's so hard to follow up all the, the products of a research program and the long articles and all of that as a subject. Somebody just come and peek into what you do and they write the long report. It doesn't necessarily create value, but this action-based research was really wonderful because we got all the value real time and we were moving fast and we needed that. So it was just pushing us forward, the whole thing. A little quote here from Buckminster Fuller: "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model, and that makes the existing model obsolete." And that's exactly what we've been doing. So we've taken in all of it. Luckily, since Open was very much about circularity in the first place, we could more or less implement the tools that you created as we moved, and it's put us in a very exciting position right now. So
it's really inspiring to hear.
Yeah, so let me share you a little bit about what Augury is in this, because this is a brand new thing that I guess nobody has heard of. So from the initiative of cleaning up nature that we set, we chose to attack one of the biggest challenges that we see now, which is plastic in the ocean. Ending up as microplastics over the decades. We need to get it up fast, and we need to get it up in one piece. So we want to make the best of the best from the worst of the worst, basically. Augury was founded by Opa and our partners Investa and the environmentalist Rune Gåse, with the goal of making cleaning up oceans profitable and generate the exponential growth and cleanup that the world needs. What Augury does is to charge the 100% ownerless marine waste that's picked up by the ocean by volunteers with value from the stories of the cleanup, offering this unique material and the stories connected to it in a closed loop rental model. And blockchain tracking and certificate of origin is securing our value chain partners that this is actually the real deal and not greenwashing some other plastic that's been dipping in the ocean. So since Larissa Slotte took over the leadership of Augury in May, the company has set off on its own regenerative circular journey and already created merit by placing the granulate on the desk of two ministers, the Norwegian Prime Minister and the business minister, proving the whole model of Augury. It's funded by Agenda Vestlandet with some funding, which is a non-profit foundation that aims to create new green growth opportunities. Augury is already attracting interest from brands and companies eager to move into the new regenerative economy. And just by implementing the Augury material into their products, they're targeting 5 of the UN sustainability goals directly there. So it's just plug and play sustainability and regenerativity. So for Open Vesta, we have had a huge opportunity here to model our own material provider into our ideals of the regenerative world. So this has opened the door for both brand-driven industries and regular industries to turn their businesses regenerative. And Open Vesta to be the first material as a service customers in this value chain, not owning our physical products, while still being able to create value and profit is such a huge achievement on behalf of the circular economy. It really makes me happy, as you can see. And the project proves that value creation can be completely decoupled from the material flow. And now we look forward to sharing the benefits of this with what was formerly in the linear model our competitors, but what we now see as collaborators in the circular economy.
And we are really proud to say that we were at least a small part of this initiative in helping you to spinning out new businesses on the basis of the work that we've been doing together. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Lars. And I'm sure that Oyvind is going to share some more about the shared collaboration as well in a second.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have time for questions from Christina now, but maybe, Lars, if you could go in the chat. I know that there are a number of questions for you, but it would be great if you could join her. And then we're also going to have a shared discussion in the end with all the companies, so we can also bring the questions here to everybody on stage again.
So is this the chat, the stage chat or the event chat?
I guess you need to look at both. People are posting on them at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Where to find more information? That's already in the chat here.
Yeah, I guess we get
super inspiring. Thank you.
Somebody to help you. But see you, Lars.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a small glimpse of something else. Can I steal?
Directly after Vestra, this is in a back-to-back presentation now, because basically, as Lars has already introduced, with a really nice story about both how OPA has done, but also how indeed this value chain collaboration has functioned in a way which we could only have dreamt about at the beginning of the CIRCit project. And now we're going to introduce another company within furniture, you could say, but this is now street furniture, and this is Vestra. And for all of you, while we're bringing Oyvind on the online and on the cable connection, remember to keep your questions going in the chat, because after all of these 5 presentations, as Daniela said, we're going to have a common discussion with all the companies. So even though we didn't manage to quite get the questions in now, we're going to be doing the common discussion at the end. So without further ado, I'd really like to welcome you, Oyvind Bjørnstad, from the company Vestra. Let's see if we can get you through and online. Oyvind is, as you can see from the picture in the introduction here, Oyvind is head of strategy and sustainability. And I really like the title, Oyvind, because I mean, for me, strategy and sustainability is becoming the same thing. So, and you're way ahead at having that in your job title as being the head of strategy and sustainability. Welcome to you. Let's see if we can get the sound connection both ways. Can you hear us and can we hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And we can hear you, yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Oyvind. Welcome and many thanks for coming today. You've been another of our partners and our tier 1 partners on the CIRCit project. First of all, maybe tell a bit about your company, Vestra, making street furniture, and about your decision to engage so heavily in the circular economy.
Yeah, first, it struck me that quote from Buckminster Fuller that Lars mentioned. That's very true, and that's the way we need to look at things. So that was a really good introduction. In terms of the title and the company, it's been very deliberate from our side to link the 2 pieces of strategy, finance, and sustainability, because the CSR movement and the sustainability movement at large has been sort of moved to the side, to the CFO, to the CEO, and so on. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to just bring that into the fold and into the real decision-making progress by combining those 2 roles. And we have an ambition to become the world's most sustainable furniture company. We do by and large street furniture. Started in Oslo and now going out into the world. We have offices in Berlin, New York, and London now, and we are gaining momentum in all those markets. And but it's not really about selling more and more furniture. It's more about actually creating caring meeting places for people there to be able to meet, especially in these times of increased polarization and so on. It's important to create some arenas for integration and for communication between people from all different walks of life. We believe that to be extremely important, and obviously circularity. I'll get it a little bit more into the details once I discuss the work packages. But circularity has been sort of it's sort of a brushing the dust off a new term, right? Because it used to be that way, that we had to use everything until it broke, until it was completely wasted. And then we've had 50 or 60 odd years where actually producing new stuff has become cheaper than repairing, cheaper than buying something that you're planning to have for a long time. And now we're sort of we're coming full circle, and that's why circularity is a good name for it too, because we're coming back to that.
We're having to relearn
which
old
we came from.
knowledge, you could say, that we've forgotten a couple of generations ago. So how are you? Have you engaged on CIRCit to make sure that that is not just brushing the dust off, but when you brush the dust off, what's the new activities and what have you engaged in, and how has that changed the way in which you're thinking and working at Vestar?
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to say that the sort of science-based approach to sustainability is key, and we believe that now everybody's talking about sustainability. So we have to be extremely transparent, and we also have to use data to show proven concepts, and that's why we are such big fans of business and industries working with scientific institutions, using the scientific method to sort of base their business decisions on. I think that's the only way forward, and it has to be extremely transparent because everybody is talking about sustainability now. So we wanted to delve further into. We are an old company. We are 70 years old and have thrived under the linear model. So in many ways, it's harder to tear away from something that when you're already having success in one way of doing business. Absolutely. Which I'll get a little bit more into once we get into the work package 2. But I think. One of the reasons, or the main reason we joined, is actually to gain some new perspectives and to sort of stake out that path forward from the linear economy.
Right. So we have 3 minutes left to have a quick introduction to those work packages.
3 minutes, okay, I'll go really fast.
Yeah.
So work package 2 with Marina, a fantastic collaboration. We gained so many new perspectives. What should we be owning? Is it possible to rent out street furniture? We got some really concrete cases that we've already floated on the market, and we're seeing especially large interest for some of our parklet modules, which are sort of a step on the way towards the car-free city. We insert a small pocket park that is ideal for rental because it's meant to be temporary. So we're seeing some interest on that already, and then we already discussed the take-back solutions. Sort of that could be a transition from the linear economy to start taking back and start demanding more from the end of life without actually changing the financial model. And then because what we found out with Marina is that this is for sure the biggest I think hope for a real decoupling of resources and economic growth, right. To introduce this sort of business models. I'll skip ahead. I could say so much more about that work package, but I'll skip ahead to the product design with Sasha, which was also great. Yeah. We were lucky because we already had quality, separability, and materials have been part of our DNA from the beginning. So we already had a lot of those attributes that you need in place, but we still gained a lot to delve further into the realm of product responsibility and how we can design products that are easy to send back, easy to give a new life. Based out of that work package, we coined the term that no Vestre furniture shall not be able to have an eternal life, which is basically a huge kudos to how we did that work package, and how Sasha helped us get more in line with our thinking in terms of future products as well. And then I'll briefly mention also the work with Fenna, who was extremely helpful with me, Lars, and the others at the Ope Vestre collaboration. I have to pull that out as well, because it has definitely come into fruition, and we'll see it go forward over the coming years. I'm sure you guys will also follow that closely.
We will indeed, yeah. And Fenna's name has been mentioned a couple of times. Fenna was the lead researcher on Work Package 6, which Jar introduced to us today about the value chain collaboration. Fenna has now proceeded to another position in Hamburg, but we're really, really thankful to her, and we'll give you an overview later of all the other people who've worked on the CIRCit project. But for those of you who are wondering, where did Fenna come into this? That was the Work Package 6. We're going to go into the questions a little bit later, and what I'd like to do there is to bring the questions which are both specific for you at Vestre and at Ope, but also the ones which are looking at exactly the value chain collaboration opportunities, because that's also very interesting to hear. But in the first instance, many thanks to you, Øyvind, for telling the story of Vestre and how you've been on the road to circularity, dusting off the old practices we've forgotten, but giving them in fact a very new chance and opportunity from a business perspective and from a product development perspective, and then also seeing how you can operate across the value chain.
Yeah, thanks.
Many thanks.
I just wanted to give.
We'll see you very shortly for the questions as well.
I just wanted to give a quick mention about the factory that you saw in the photo. We're building a new factory in Norway, the world's most sustainable furniture factory. You can check it out at theplus.no. I'll put the link in the chat.
Do that, please. Right. It's really interesting.
See you.
Thank you. Thanks, Øyvind. So last but not least, we have one case left before we bring up the discussion across the companies. So Daniela, would you bring us into something that is very close to many of our hearts, which is about coffee and coffee making. How can we get circularity in the coffee making industry?
Yeah, of course. And it's a pleasure for us also to welcome Lars here on stage to talk about their journey on circular economy implementation at Lofbergs. We find it really interesting to see that they define coffee and sustainability as a common concept, and we'd love to hear more. Where does that come from? How sustainability is into your business, but also how circular economy can play a role and an important role in this entire transition. So let's welcome Lars. And I can see you joining, Lars.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. I'd love to hear everything about coffee and sustainability.
I can guarantee you that I can not give you everything about coffee and circularity in 5 minutes, but I can give it a short, brief introduction. And thank you for bringing me on the stage here. If I should just about the reasons.
Just jump in.
Sorry.
Just jump in.
Lofbergs is an old company, and we are generally recognized as being a sustainability frontrunner within our industry. We've been fighting for certification programs for many years, and we have generally very high standards in terms of code of conduct and environmental issues and so on. But we also have both within our supply chain, but also in our industry in general, we have some issues related to the imbalance. I mean, economical and social imbalance that, I mean, here in the Western communities, our coffee is very, it's a lifestyle, and it's a very high value product, and that's not the same for the coffee farmers who grow the coffee. We often see very poor conditions and so on in our industry. And we also have some environmental impacts that are not really in favor for the planet. And then we have this paradox that we work with such a high value product, and basically we use less than 1% of the nutrition value when we drink coffee. We know that, I mean, from the biomass that is surrounding the coffee, there is such a big potential that we don't use today. So we actually see that circular economy and using those parts, and we're talking about the fruit from the cherry, from the coffee tree, the leaves, and we also see from our own production a lot of resources that are today waste we could get use of, and also like spent coffee grounds and so on. It has high value, and we see actually if we can start extracting that value, we can actually also find a way to make better lives throughout our value chain and better incomes. So basically, that's our reason for working in this field.
And could you maybe tell a little bit more about your experience in the CIRCit project and how the participation in the different focus areas helped you in moving forward?
Actually, I mean, when entering the CIRCit project, we were looking for support how to establish new circular business models. And we have to also, to be honest, that we entered the program very late. And at that time, I mean, we were not able to join the full program, which was we wanted to be a part of it all, but it was not possible. So we joined the work packages 5 and 1. And out of that, our aims were to create our business models from what we learned there. And we wanted academic perspective. I mean, we see a lot of commercial opportunities, and we actually also have a lot of agricultural knowledge from our partners, and we have from our production line and so on. But we are not theoretically very strong. We're a commercial people, and we needed that kind of structure into our work. And
to get a science-based input to the intuitive activities you were doing to get some form of backup for the decisions you made.
Exactly. So it was both to have that science structure and also to enter into a network of relevant companies and knowledgeable people that we could get use of in our works. And actually, that's also, if I should look at some of the main takeaways, is that actually that, I mean, I think we got introduced to some very knowledgeable and interesting people, and our understanding of circular economy has improved a lot, and our understanding about how complex it is and can be. But also that if you use the right tools, I mean, the solutions might not be that far away.
Yeah, it's a matter of understanding how to prioritize and how to break down into a very actionable roadmap. Right?
Exactly. But also, I mean, if we have to look at and be a little bit critical about ourselves, we also have to understand that, I mean, as a commercial company, also working in a project like this, you really need to commit yourself 100%, primarily in order to understand exactly what is going on.
So that's very true. Yeah, and I can also expect that you probably had a number of challenges in trying to making people understand the importance of a commercial company to transform towards the circular economy.
I mean, on forehand, yes. But at the time when we entered this, we already were on the strategic track. And actually, during our work here, it was confirmed as a very, very central part of our strategy moving forward, 2030 and beyond. So we have the buy-in from the entire organization. We have the management and the owners. They already agreed that this is our commitment. So that part is not really our fight now. Our fight now is to understand how to get the models, the business models, and also to understand, I mean, what new commercial outputs can you make from this? I mean, everybody understands that, okay, you have something that is waste. Can you make that a valuable product? You understand, okay, then you can earn money, but that's still a very linear business model thinking. How can you make money out of the circularity, which actually, in its best sense, means that you have to avoid. I mean, if we have to reduce production, if we have to use our resources, I mean, in a linear thinking, that means we're actually limiting our potentials. So how can we get new business opportunities and commercial outputs into this work? That's where we're kind of challenging ourselves.
Right. Can I maybe ask a question? You mentioned that 1% of the coffee product is what we're actually seeing in the coffee. So it means that 99% opportunity there.
Exactly.
What do you project as being the opportunity, and maybe give us an idea of how far can we get, and what type of usage and value can we get out of the other 99%?
I mean, what kind of I mean,
yes. Yeah, so what's the how can we go from 1% to how far? Yeah.
Actually, the way we structured it is that we work in 3 different destinations, and we have the farming, which is agricultural matters. There we have various kind of waste materials, like I said, the cherries and so on. We can use that for new kind of food products, chemicals, medicine, cosmetics. There are a lot of opportunities there at our own production level, at our own manufacturing site. We have also, I mean, we used to say we didn't have any waste because we produce an order, and coffee beans, we can have them on stock for a while. And that means that we use everything we say, but we have silver skins, for instance, which is a small skin that's surrounding the bean, and when the bean is being roasted, that leaves in the roasting process. And actually, we have 180 tons of silver skins today, and it's just being burned. Wow. And it has the same high nutrient value as the coffee bean itself. We can use that for products, food products again. I mean, you can use it for new types of plastic material. You can use it furnitures, etc. And also at the consumption level, we have the spent coffee grounds, which is today also just being wasted. We know that you can grow mushrooms from coffee grounds. You can produce soap and various kind of cosmetic products. And actually, I'm just naming a few. The potentials are really, really big here. Yeah. So actually, I mean, we see just a final note is that circularity is a completely new layer to our business. And it's actually, it has changed our look at what is our core product. We used to look at it as a small bean, but now it's everything that surrounds the bean.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, I mean, it's a blue ocean for our company.
Yeah. And when you look back, it seems so simple that now it's everything and not just the beans.
Yeah.
So congratulations with that, and good luck with the journey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And well, I feel that I know much more about sustainability in coffee now. Thanks for the very nice lecture in the last 10 minutes or so.
Thank you.
Now it's time for the round discussion. And Lars, you're welcome to continue on stage. And we'll be welcoming the previous speakers as well. And Tim and Christina will be facilitating the discussion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so welcome back to all of you. I'm just going to turn my volume down here so I can hear just one voice. Welcome back to all of you to come back on stage, the other companies that we've heard speak, and we're going to watch out of the corner of my eye while you come on stage. But so first of all, what we're going to do is try and pick out the some of the questions that we didn't manage to get in the first round, and there's been lots of questions coming up in the chat, and we're just going to use the last 12 minutes or so before we round up for the morning to reflect on what we've heard from you, from the companies, and maybe thank you very much for all of the nice words you said about CIRCit, but say something in this discussion about how your companies as well, so focus on your companies and how you're going forward and what the opportunities and challenges are maybe from you. So I don't know, Christine, do you want to start with a question or two, and then maybe we could take some pairwise for a couple of companies at a time. And if the other speakers can join us when you see the opportunity. So we're missing Lars and Satu, but if you're still there, you're welcome to join us. But up to you, Christine.
Yeah, so maybe we can take a question for that I think will suit all of you. So it goes like this: how are your circularity accomplishment received by your customers and partners? So it was for you, Øyvind, so maybe you could start on that one.
Sure. Well, I think it's a thing that is very much appreciated by some of our core constituents, being the landscape architects, who are by and large very interested already in questions regarding ecology and regarding sustainability. Where we still see the need to progress further is definitely in the terms of regulations and in terms of how the different certifications and the different sustainability initiatives that we have taken part of is being valued in tender processes and in procurement in general. Because one thing that we have been flirting with the idea of using the Type 1 eco label, like the Nordic Swan or the EU eco label, which encompasses circularity as well as environment and a lot of other factors, and then using an EPD using that as a sort of a license to play, and then using an EPD as a differentiator on top of that.
Can I add on that?
You may.
So maybe there were a lot of questions for Sasha as well when he presented his work package on smart circular. So maybe you could also reflect on if you're using this data to actually improve the product, or if you're collecting performance data from the systems.
You're talking specifically about the bins, or do you mean the
could be, yeah, that could also go across
processes? So I can start with the production itself. So producing everything in Scandinavia has its cost, but it also has its benefits. We have to be very advanced in terms of technology, and one of the things that we're going to implement into the new factory is obviously a lot of autonomous vehicles, and a very large focus on gathering data to reapply that to avoid future breakdowns, and also to improve the process. With regards to the bins, we still have only one testing bed, which is Södertälje municipality in Stockholm, where we have about 200 bins that are out. But so far they have been able to reduce the the costs of the municipality through a reduction in time spent collecting waste by some 60 or 70%, I think.
Thanks, Christine. Maybe I have a question for all of you, and because we can see that many of the contact people and many of yourselves included from the companies, you're from the sustainability part of the organization. And one of the first things you've been really focusing on, either in CIRCit or in the business before CIRCit or since, is about the business activities and the sustainability strategy, but also the business strategy of the company. Can you tell us how, from an organizational perspective, circularity is becoming anchored in your companies in terms of, is it remaining within the sustainability part of the organization, or is this something which is spreading? Maybe just all of you in turn just reflect on that. I don't know who wants to start, but Lars is putting his hand up, so thanks for that. And that's Lars.
Yeah.
So it's easy for you to say you're the CEO.
Yeah, I can go first. And for us, you know, circularity is open. We are circularity, so it is definitely everything. But what I want to make is that it has to be everywhere and everything as well, because it is not something you do in the sustainability section. It is how you do business. For us, I saw the question here, how do you communicate this to your customers? And well, we communicate it through everything we are to our customers. So it is the service model that we offer. It is the return policy we have. It is the material we use. It is how we relate to people and inclusion and the whole planet. So it isn't something that you put in a department and then you don't even consider it. You have to completely implement it into your organization if you want to harvest the benefits.
It's becoming ubiquitous in everything you do in the organization. Right. If we look to you, Satu, because you're in an enormous company with a very, very large base and many years on the market. And could you tell us a little bit about how the journey you've been on or are still on in terms of bringing circularity as you could say, a new edge from the activities you've had traditionally as an environmental sustainability organ in the company? How is that now developing over time in Konecranes?
Well, have to agree on everything that Lars just said, that our business is just, circular economy itself, extending the life cycle of equipment and servicing them. But really how it's affected my work as in the corporate responsibility team is being more involved with product development, being more involved in the business, and being able to get into those discussions with strategy team. So it has really involved a lot, and now the ownership is in the business areas, of course.
It is. Okay, great. How about you, Bergþóra? You're also coming from a large organization which you could say traditionally wouldn't be connected with thinking about the circularity elements, but you've motivated it very nicely why circularity should be a natural part of your considerations. How is that now bringing anchored into the organization at Össur?
So I am part of the M&O, like manufacturing operation department, and we started there. Well, it's maybe the main impacts coming from the manufacturing. So we started there, and we did some pilot projects, and there has been expanding a lot. We've been working a lot in alignment with the research and development department, and so it has been and I've been working and cooperating with many different departments within the company. And just like this last January, there we the executive team of the company decided or approved that Össur will be focusing on 4 main UN Sustainable Development Goals, and one of them is the goal number 12 on responsible consumption and production. And we have now a project that we call product stewardship, which goes spreads all across the R&D to sales and marketing and all that. So it's been this journey of awareness, and also so it's just both coming from us, so it's spreading around the company, but we also see these interesting questions through tenders and bids, for example. And some of you have mentioned that. And from the finance part, like investors and all that. So it should be everywhere. And my approach as leading the program is to that should not be some huge central thing. It should be in each and every department's strategy and policy, because like this should only be built into all the activities of the company. That's so important that everybody can relate to it, and this is something that I can influence. And usually, like, bottom line, this is just a better business.
Yeah, exactly. And how do we actually organize for that and bring it into the way in which our company actually sees its main core values and business opportunities, I think is a really great step to take. How about you, Lars Thursen? Are you going to have a chief circularity officer within Løftberg? So how are you approaching?
We are going to have that, but that's not my point here. I mean, I agree to everything here. I think it's about not making it an abstract. I mean, basically, circularity is common sense.
Right.
And in our business, we talk a lot about, our commercial target is to double our positive impact. And that means that everything we can do, which has a positive impact on more than one line. And one of them, commercial impact, another one, here, circularity. For sure, if you can take waste products and you can make a commercial output, everybody understands that. And when you're able to prove that, then everybody is in. That's my experience in our organization.
Yeah. Absolutely. So maybe if I can add, because like you were saying, Lars, it's a win-win when people, when they're running a business, whether it's like a department or a company or what, and they see this is like, this is about efficiency, this is about improvement, this is a win-win when it comes to cost and environmental impacts. It's not really difficult to convince people, but it's work. It's work. It's a change of mindset.
It is.
It's hard work, and that's good news for all of us in the conference today, because we're all motivated to do that good work and the hard work. What do you say, Øyvind? How about in your organization, Investor? How do you see it being anchored in the future in terms of circularity with finance?
I think it's ultimately a question of value, right? So a lot of prices and what we pay for different stuff out there is no longer strictly linked to what it costs to produce them. There's a lot of brand value, and you're paying for a lot of sort of intangible value. And for us, it's definitely, it's all about fixing that value to the longevity of the product. And the way we try to do that is through emphasizing the customer's way of thinking about price, which is for us, it's all about life cycle cost, and it's all about total cost of ownership. It should be like that for more products, we believe, because now you can still in our business, you can get away with coming to the end customer and saying like, yeah, this is cheaper to buy. And they can be convinced by that, even though if they looked at the 15-year life or the 30-year life, or in our case, the 50 or 70-year life, then that would be a lot cheaper. And if we combine that with new business models, we can actually start talking about a real resource decoupling. So, yeah.
Great. So many thanks to all of you. Time is running, and it's running fast. And one of the things about this new platform is it turns us off at 12 o'clock because we've timed it to do so. There's many questions still coming on the platform. Maybe one final reflection question from us to you, and maybe you could write it in the chat if you'd like to. If you knew now what you knew 3 or 4 years ago before we started working on CIRCit, either from CIRCit or from any other program, any other activity you'd have, what would your expectations be to a similar research collaboration that we've had on CIRCit? What would you imagine what is the height of innovation? Don't answer now because we've no time for it. But maybe if you'd like to have that in the chat, or even input that to the workshops this afternoon, which we hope that you can be part of, it'd be really wonderful. But without further ado, Bektora, Satu, Oyvind, Lars, many, many thanks for joining us, not only today, but over the last 3.5 years on the journey we've been on to create these tools and methods together with you. So thanks, and we hope we see you later on.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
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 So